Around the 10-minute mark, the camera went off, and I had to redo the second half of the video, like the last 5 6 minutes of the video, because everything I don't know just stopped recording. So it might be a little different quality. It might be different overall. Also, the camera I'm recording is tweaking out today. That's why it might be a little bit darker than usual. And but hopefully you enjoy the content. Hopefully you enjoy what I'm saying, my opinions. But let's get on with the video. Oh my God, there's so much to uncover in the NBA. Like, the finals just ended. We just had a game seven. It wasn't the craziest game seven, but we just had a game seven of the NBA finals. We just crowned the NBA championship. The NBA draft starts tomorrow, and it's a 2 night draft. And then the offseason hasn't even started. It's not even July 1st, and teams are already making moves. Now, I know some of these trades I'm late, and some of these trades I'm not that late. But with everything being said, I am a Devin Booker fan. I am from New York, and I love the Celtics. I know I'm all over the place. But as you can tell, I have a lot of feelings and emotions tied to a lot of these trades that I'm going to be talking about today. And with no further ado, let's start off with the Kevin Durant trade. I know this happened yesterday. I was aware of this. I knew it was going to happen eventually. I think everybody knew it was going to happen eventually. Some people were saying the Spurs. Some people were saying the Rockets. Some people were even saying the Thunder at a certain point in the series, which I always thought was like so stupid. In the season, it was saying trade KD to the Thunder. But all in all, they traded him to Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, and some picks. Now, the picks don't really matter to me. Why? Because the picks are only there for the Phoenix Suns to trade and flip with Jalen Green, with Dylan Brooks, or with some other guy on the team that will give them some type of return after hopefully they can waive Bradley Beal. Because he is the reason why Kevin Durant had to get traded. He don't want to waive his no trade clause, and now we're here where we have to trade KD. And I told everybody in the beginning when they first got KD, you could even go back in my videos here on this channel and you'll see I've been saying this experiment with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker was not going to work because the Suns didn't build well around them. And then they got Bradley Beal, and that's when I knew 1000% this was never going to work. Bradley Beal is never there. He's always injured. And on top of that, man, he's just like it's just having another Brooklyn Nets but on the Suns, right? And I just knew it wasn't gonna work out. And then for Kevin Durant, honestly, I'm just happy that he's able to go to a new team, new scenery, and start all over again. And I'm not gonna be one of those guys that say that KD's been moved around so many times, flipped teams so many times, so he's not a legend. I still think KD's legacy is cemented. He's a legend. And although his 2 rings only came with the Golden State Warriors when he's played with so many All-Stars and Superstars and Hall of Famers, which sounds terrible, I'm not going to take away from him that he is an amazing basketball talent, and no matter where you put him, that he's going to bring a lot to your team. And what does this mean for the Rockets? It means that you have a scorer in Kevin Durant next to Amen Thompson, but it means that you are putting your all into Amen Thompson to be that next guy for you and have that hustle, grind, and that type of play that you're going to miss in Dylan Brooks. As we can tell, as much of a nuisance Dylan Brooks is on the court, to everybody, the Grizzlies miss him. They need him. And now they got rid of Desmond Bain. You can tell everything went downhill once Dylan Brooks left. And the Rockets, although they are coached by Emil Udoka, I'm curious to see. I'm interested to see what happens and how they go through with this. But a player like Dylan Brooks is very needed, especially on a young roster like the Rockets or the Grizzlies or even a roster that's trying to win. Now, do I like Dylan Brooks on the Suns? Personally, I don't like Dylan Brooks. But I'd rather have him with Devin Booker than against Devin Booker. And sometimes I do think Devin Booker is lacking some of that, aggressiveness and some of that toughness that comes with the game. I feel like he's super tough playing the game. He talks a lot, trash or whatever. But I feel like there's something else that he's missing. Is that like I don't know? Is that spark that he's missing that he needs Jalen Green, I don't expect him to stay. They already talk about trading him, moving him. I expect that to happen. They need more pieces. Devin Booker is not going to take you to the championship or even deep into the playoffs. He might not even take you to the playoffs with this roster right here. And you have to waive Bradley Beal and figure out what the hell to do with that. Now, this is the one that really made my jaw drop. Jrue Holiday got traded to the Portland Trailblazers for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks. I understand what the Celtics are doing here, but I swear this is probably a mistake the Celtics are going to regret. You cannot give up Jrue Holiday for nothing. I'm not going to lie. You saw what happened to the Bucks. They give up Jrue Holiday, and what happened? You benefited and won a championship. Now you give up Jrue Holiday. If I am a team that is in need of a championship defense, 3-and-D, somebody that will knock shots down when they need them, somebody's going to, play defense and get you a steal whenever you need it, somebody's going to make the plays that you cannot prepare for, I'm making that move right now. And if I am the Suns, I'm getting rid of Jalen Green, some of those picks, and I'm going for Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday's career cannot end on the Portland Trailblazers who have nothing. I'm going for Jrue Holiday right now. I'm making that move. Everybody's getting traded. I'm making that move. If possible, obviously. I think there's like a limit of how much, a guy can stay on the team before you can trade him, this, that, and third. But if I am the Suns, I'm making that move for Jrue Holiday right now. Defensively, Dillon Brooks, Jrue Holiday next to Devin Booker. We need that. Figure out who comes off the bench, who doesn't. Figure out if you're going to play who at the 3 and who at the 1. Whatever you got to do, figure that out. Figure out the rest later on. But I'm getting Jrue Holiday. That is necessary. Now, for the Celtics to have Anthony Simons, I don't even know what directions the Celtics are going with this, because Anthony Simons, he's a good scorer, right? But I don't know if he replaces what Jrue Holiday has been giving you night after night, day after day, game after game. And I don't know if overall this helps the Celtics. I don't know if they'll ever get over the hump again with Anthony Simons. Jason Tatum's going to be out for a whole year. Maybe they're going to find a way to make a move after. Maybe this is a way to get Anthony Simons, make him look nice this year. Give him the right, amount of people watching him as possible to see how great of a player he is in Boston, because people love Boston. They're gonna watch. Give him a deal because he's on an expiring contract, and flip that for something. Maybe. And then the Celtics didn't stop there. They made another move. I don't know if they made it yet, but they're thinking about trading Kristaps Porziņgis to Atlanta for Trey Mann, I think it was, or Terrence Mann, something like that. I swear I definitely forgot his name. For, they're going to swap picks. And then the Celtics would get George Niang from Brooklyn. I didn't even know he was on Brooklyn. I thought he was still with the Sixers. I swear. Maybe I just don't watch the Brooklyn Nets because I know they're going to be bad. But they're going to get George Niang. Again, I don't know what direction the Celtics are going to go in. You won the championship simply because Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday. They were there and they made certain things possible that you couldn't make possible before they got there. Or you would have got over the hump a whole many times earlier. I don't know what direction they're going in, but long story short, if this goes through, I don't know if it's a good move or a bad move. You're trading all the pieces that made you win. I know you want to get under the second apron, but I don't know, for a championship, maybe not this year, but next year, I'm staying in that second apron. Like, you're probably making more money than you're losing. But I don't know who might tell the Celtics how to run their team. They have 18 NBA championships. So, if anybody knows how to do it correctly, it's the Celtics. And it didn't stop there. The NBA was on hot. New Orleans Pelicans traded CJ McCollum and Kelly Olynyk for Jordan Poole and Saddiq Bey. Now, I don't remember if there was any draft picks involved in this trade, but what I will say is I couldn't wait for Jordan Poole to get off the Washington Wizards. For a player this talented, I was mad. I was pissed off that the Warriors traded him to the Wizards, and I feel like they did that out of spite for Jordan Poole, and they just wanted to prove to him that he can't run nothing in that team or in any team in the NBA. But now that he's in the Pelicans, I feel like this is a better fit for him. I feel like was better than the Wizards. I feel like the Pelicans are just better than the Wizards, obviously. Although everybody's injured now, but they do have Sadiq Bey, and now they have Jordan Poole, and maybe he has a better opportunity. He for sure is gonna have better coaching. I believe they still have Willie Green. They're gonna have better coaching. He's gonna have a new environment, and hopefully we get to see the Jordan Poole from the Golden State Warriors, not this Jordan Poole that we've been seeing the last year or two. It's been terrible for him. Sadiq Bey, bright future, can be a valuable piece for the Pelicans, and I really wonder how they're gonna use him and how this turns out. Especially like all these front offices and coaches making these trades, I wonder what's their plan and what's the picture that they have in their head on how to run their team. Now, for CJ McCollum and the Wizards, I feel like they're gonna move him. They're gonna give him the respect of an OG and just be like, "Yo, bro, whatever you want to go, let us know. Pick a team, and we'll take you to whatever destination you want to be in." I feel like they'll give him that respect. Uh, Chris Middleton picked up his player option, I think it was. I don't know if he extended his deal, but he picked up his player option, and more on that tomorrow. And for Kelly Olynyk, I'm not going to lie, if a team doesn't come calling for you, it might be over for you, my boy. You might sit in Washington until your contract runs out. And to be honest with you, once your contract runs out, people are not going to remember you no more, man. But hopefully, things turn out for the better. Now, the last thing I got to talk about. Kyrie Irving let go of his player option. He didn't pick it up, which was $43 million for this upcoming year. And he signed a $119 million 3-year contract, which means that Kyrie Irving will be getting $40 million a year every year for the next 3 years. Now, for me personally, $40 million to rehab first year, amazing. And I'm not saying that as a knock on Kyrie. I know he's happy because I know why he signed this contract. I don't know him personally. I never spoke to him. But I could just tell because I know that at this age, you're 35, 34, 36, whatever Kyrie age is, with this type of injury, all you want is long-term security, man. You could come out next year and end up getting $25 million a year, which is still great, still amazing by any means. That's $25 million is not a slouch. But $40 million for 3 years, that's security right there. And for him, that has to be a lot more relaxing for him. He has to take a lot of stress off of him, honestly, with the rehab and all that stuff. And it just shows him that the team still wants him. And for the Mavericks, this is great because I believe they kept Daniel Gafford. More on that tomorrow as well. But you keep Kyrie for an additional 2 years from when he comes back. So he might come back in the playoffs if you make it, and he'll be a valuable piece. Or he might come back next year, and knowing Kyrie Irving, man, I know he's not going to come back and just fall off the earth. I think he's going to come back as maybe not the best version of himself because he is getting older, and this injury is, very damaging. But he's still going to be super hard to stop. Like, he might not be Kyrie Irving that we know today, but he will still be Kyrie Irving to everybody else. And if, God is on his side and, luck is on his side and he's blessed, he'll be the same Kyrie that we've always known and grown to love. And also for the Mavericks, it'll give you time to build. Now Kyrie's going to be there for a little minute and you can build around him. You could, get some more pieces for him and AD. And you say you in a win now type of window, type of movement. Now it gives you more time to figure that out with no stress. You know exactly what's gonna go on. But anyways, yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. This Real Talk with E. And with that being said, man, it's been a long day. I've been tired, but I had to get this video out. I don't even know if you could tell my face. My camera right now is so bad. I don't even know why it's being like this today. But I haven't even had a chance to wash my face yet. But hopefully you can't tell. I'm just mad. Like everything's not even going right. But anyways, yeah, safe.